This is not clickbait at all. What happened recently is, in an almost absurd way and having gone almost unnoticed, something truly revolutionary. An event that could change the way we use the web, operating systems, and technology in general. It's a concept that's been floating around for 20 years, which we've seen materialize in rather uninspiring ways with so-called cloud operating systems. Well, now the story has changed. And perhaps, one day, you'll remember this moment. The day when, for the first time, Linux managed to run natively online. Imagine opening a tab in your browser and finding yourself facing not a website, not a cloud application, but an entire Linux operating system running completely client-side. The actual kernel, compiled and executed directly in your browser. Sounds like science fiction, right? Yet that's exactly what Joel Severin, a Linux kernel developer, has managed to do after 2 years of solitary work. This is not the story of a web terminal or an interface that connects to a remote virtual machine. We're talking about something much deeper and frankly bolder, the complete porting of the Linux kernel to WebAssembly. An endeavor that until recently would have been considered at best a theoretical exercise. Joel himself, with an almost British understatement, presented the project on the Linux kernel mailing list, saying, "During the past 2 years or so, I have been slow-rolling an effort to port the Linux kernel to WebAssembly. I'm now at the point where the kernel boots and I can run basic programs from a shell. As you will see if you play around with it for a bit, it's not very stable and will crash sooner or later, but I think this is a good first step." A good first step. When you manage to boot a kernel in an environment it was never designed for, calling it a good first step is probably the technological understatement of the year. To understand the scope of this achievement, we need to take a step back and talk about WebAssembly. Wasm, as it's commonly abbreviated, is an executable binary code format that represents one of the most significant innovations in the web ecosystem of the last 10 years. Unlike JavaScript, which is an interpreted language, and therefore inherently slower, WebAssembly is designed to be compiled and optimized, offering performance that approaches native code. The fundamental idea is elegant in its simplicity. Why limit ourselves to JavaScript when we can bring decades of software written in C, C++, Rust, Go, and other compiled languages to the web? WebAssembly doesn't replace JavaScript, it complements it. It provides a universal compilation target that allows writing performant applications in any language that compile to this intermediate format. The result is then executed in a secure sandbox managed by the browser, maintaining all the security guarantees we expect from the modern web. Practical applications are already numerous. Video editors running entirely in the browser, gaming engines, CAD applications, cryptography tools. Every time you see a web application doing surprisingly complex things without lag, there's a good chance WebAssembly is involved. And this is where Joel's insight comes in. If WebAssembly can execute arbitrary code so efficiently, why not an operating system kernel? The kernel version used is 6.416, released in June 2023. This is not a random choice. It's exactly the point from which Joel started this journey 2 years ago. The complete stack includes the LLVM 18.1.2 toolchain for compilation to Wasm and a user space based on BusyBox compiled with Muzzle. There's something poetic about this. While the Linux kernel continued its evolution, Joel was working in parallel on a branch moving in a completely different direction. Now, if you go to this address, you can see the result of these 2 years of work. The kernel boot happens right before your eyes in the browser, and on decent machines, it can complete in less than a second. No installation, no remote virtual machine, no tricks, just a Linux kernel that boots up and presents you with a working shell. And here it's fundamental to clarify something. This is not a remote terminal connecting to a server. It's not an emulator simulating another architecture like x86 or ARM, and it's not even Linux kernel library encapsulating the kernel as a library. This is a true architectural port of the kernel to a new target, arch/wasm. syscalls are exposed directly. The kernel runs natively as WebAssembly code. This is a fundamental difference. The available commands are the basic ones, lscat, echo, pwd. The file system is obviously virtual, but it responds exactly as you would expect. It's unstable, yes, it will crash probably, but it works. And that's already extraordinary. Think about the technical challenges this involves. The Linux kernel is written assuming direct access to hardware, CPU, memory, I/O devices. In a WebAssembly environment, none of this exists. There's no physical hardware to access, no real interrupts to handle, no physical memory to allocate in the traditional sense. Joel had to create an abstraction layer that translated the kernel's expectations into calls compatible with the WebAssembly environment. syscalls, the heart of the interface between user space and kernel, must be remapped. Drivers must become completely virtual. Memory management must respect the constraints of the browser sandbox. But the challenges go even deeper. WebAssembly today doesn't have a memory management unit. Everything lives in the same address space. To work around this limitation, Joel implemented a system where each process is mapped onto a separate web worker, effectively creating a virtual CPU for each process. Preemption becomes like creative, to use a euphemism. Real networking doesn't exist, and some fundamental primitives like vfork and longgmp simply aren't supported in the current Wasm environment. It's like taking a combustion engine designed to run on gasoline and making it run on electricity while keeping all the pistons and mechanical components original. An engineering exercise that requires not only technical competence, but also a deep understanding of how both the kernel and WebAssembly work. Now, the natural question is, why? What's the practical utility of running Linux in a browser? The implications are broader than they might initially seem. Think about education. Being able to provide a student with a complete, secure, and isolated Linux environment, accessible from any device with a browser. Nothing to install, nothing to configure, no risk of damaging the host system. Open a tab, you have your personal Linux system. For testing and software development, having the ability to run code in a completely isolated Linux sandbox environment opens up interesting scenarios. Want to test how an application behaves on Linux without having a Linux machine? Open the browser. There's also a philosophical dimension that shouldn't be underestimated. Linux has always been characterized by its incredible portability. It runs on server racks, on smartwatches, on routers, on embedded devices costing a few euros, on supercomputers occupying entire buildings. But the browser represents something different. It's not hardware in the traditional sense. It's a software abstraction that itself runs on different operating systems. Porting Linux to WebAssembly means demonstrating that the Unix paradigm of portability and abstraction can be pushed even further. We're no longer talking about porting the operating system to different hardware, but to a universal software abstraction that exists above the hardware. The kernel community's reaction has been, understandably, between curiosity and amazement. Announcing such a project on the kernel mailing list is not like posting on just any forum. It's presenting your work to people who have dedicated years, sometimes decades, to understanding and developing every corner of this code. And here lies another fascinating aspect. This project doesn't originate in a university lab or in a research team at a large corporation. It's the work of a single developer who decided to dedicate his free time to exploring an idea that many would probably have considered impractical. Certainly, the project is still in its embryonic phase. Joel himself is the first to admit that stability isn't guaranteed and that there are frequent crashes. But this is only the beginning. The open source community has demonstrated countless times that it can take an interesting proof of concept and transform it into something robust and usable. Imagine what this project could become with the contribution of other developers. Support for more programs, performance optimizations, improved stability, perhaps even initial support for graphical applications through a virtual frame buffer. There's an almost poetic detail in this whole story. 2 years ago, when Joel started this project with kernel 6.4.16, Linus Torvalds had just talked in an interview about how he relaxed by indenting assembly code. Assembly? WebAssembly. It's a play on words that's probably just a coincidence, but one that perfectly captures the hacker spirit of this project. Because ultimately, this is exactly what it means to be a hacker in the original sense of the term. Taking a system, understanding it deeply, and then pushing it beyond its intended limits, not out of malice, but out of pure intellectual curiosity, to see if it can be done. Joel Severin has demonstrated that it can be done. Linux can run in a browser, not perfectly, not yet in a practical way for daily use, but it can run. And this changes the way we think about both Linux and WebAssembly. A practical note, GitHub Pages doesn't send the coop and coep headers necessary for some security optimizations, so if the page freezes, try reloading it. Chromium tends to handle the situation better than Firefox, at least for debugging. Open a tab, watch the kernel boot, type some commands, and while you do it, remember that you're using an operating system whose architecture was designed in the 90s, ported to a bytecode format that didn't exist until a few years ago, running in a browser that itself runs on another operating system. It's a level of abstraction upon abstraction that's almost dizzying, but it works. And this, perhaps, is the most important message. In computer science, limits are often only in our imagination. If this story has fascinated you and you have skills to contribute, the repository is public on GitHub. Joel has documented everything: the patches for the Wasm architecture, support for the virtual console, the binfmt for Wasm binaries, and a unified script that manages the entire build process. There's a list of open issues and room to contribute. Because this, ultimately, is what makes Linux special. It's not just code. It's a community of people who believe that impossible things are just things no one has done yet.